Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app, O'Connor and Company.
Well, good morning, one and all. Wow. It is Monday morning. Yes, it is Monday. You've gotten through the weekend. You're getting ready for a week. Girding your loins for a new week as we move headlong into the holiday season. It is 7:07 right here on News Talk 105.9 WMAL. We are making sense of the news. I am Andrew Langer, in for Larry O'Connor this week and the next, sitting alongside my good friend Julie Gunlock. Hello there, Julie.
Good morning.
Good morning. Always so much fun hanging out with you. I do enjoy this. Listen, we got Chuck Jenkins joining us in the next hour to talk about all that's going on in Maryland. And, in fact, you know something, joining us right now is Joe diGenova, former U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia. He's a legal analyst. And let me start here, Joe, because there is this debate going on. There is a push in Maryland to legislate that counties don't need to cooperate. Local law enforcement does not need to cooperate with federal immigration authorities. What could possibly go wrong, Joe?
Well, first of all, it's already the law that they don't have to cooperate. They cannot be dragooned into being federal law enforcement officers. If they're telling them they're not allowed to cooperate, they're preventing them from cooperating, even if they want to. That raises a very interesting legal question about whether or not they have the authority to do that. And there will be litigation over it, I'm sure. But putting that aside, it's a stupid policy to say you don't have to cooperate, because all they're doing is encouraging lawlessness by illegal aliens. And it's actually a pretty stupid policy. But that seems to be a stupid policy, seems to be the order of the day in Maryland. They raise taxes unnecessarily. They've caused a flight by people like me who left Maryland and went to Florida because of the taxes. Wes Moore thinks he's going to be Gavin Newsom. It'll be fun to watch them fight each other.
And now, you know, it's going to spill over into Virginia. This is the problem. I mean, obviously, elections have consequences, and so you know, this is the kind of thing I think we're going to start seeing from the Spamberger, Hashmi, Jay Jones administration. Is it not?
Oh, of course. That's what they lied about, not being that type of a politician, but they are clearly in way left of center on the spectrum of American politics. But here's the problem for those of us that care about this. The people of Virginia elected these folks. They made a decision. Yes. And whether or not anybody likes it or not, this was a virulently anti-Trump vote. People better wake up. We had horrible turnout. We had fewer Republicans voting than in the last election. Republicans are very bad at turnout. It's pretty clear the Republican National Committee did not have a plan for this. Shame on them. They did an embarrassing job. I think they were disgraceful in the way they performed. So the bottom line is this. We didn't do much to stop them, and now they're going to do what they want to do, and it's going to get very ugly.
Well, it already has gotten ugly. We have the House Judiciary Committee subpoenaing the Arlington DA. She's funded by Soros. She has stopped basically any attempt to prosecute or bring to justice this woman who is harassing the Miller family. As you know, Stephen Miller and his family has had to move out of their house in Arlington. They're now on a military base. And this is because of a group in Arlington led by a woman who is determined to get people, you know, she hands out flyers of where they live. And now it turns out that the DA in Arlington is sort of covering this up. Have you heard about this case?
Yes, I have, but here's my concern. That's fine. If Jim Jordan wants to issue subpoenas and hold hearings and accomplish nothing like he usually does, that's fine. The problem is this. Where's the United States Attorney for Virginia? Why aren't they investigating threats against a federal official? Why isn't there a federal grand jury issuing subpoenas? This is crazy. What the hell is going on in Virginia?
Yeah. Wow.
No. Sorry, go ahead, Julie. Look.
No, go on.
Yeah, no, and that's just it. It is almost as though we're now. Well, listen, we've been moving through the looking glass for some time, haven't we, Joe? Then we got Judge Boasberg, declining to reinstate the order, finding probable cause exists to hold Trump officials in criminal contempt. I mean, this is really there are folks who have a fundamental disconnect with reality, don't they?
Well, here's what needs to happen. If Jim Jordan wants to do something productive, he needs to start impeachment proceedings in his Judiciary Committee against Judge Boasberg. This is emblematic of a very serious problem in the federal judiciary. There is a kind of unconstitutional Civil War resistance to the lawful authority of the central government. Whatever you think of Boasberg and these other judges, when judges anonymously interview with NBC and the New York Times and criticize the Supreme Court of the United States, the president, judicial rulings by the Supreme Court, it's time to start impeaching federal judges. Although the Chief Justice tells us that's what higher courts are for, the problem is when the higher courts are engaged in the behavior that is impeachable, you don't have that avenue.
Right, and at the end of the day, it shouldn't be this circumstance where we have to wait, years upon years upon years for it to winnow its way through the system, only, by the way, to find out at the end of the day that someone doesn't have standing or there's some procedural issue that doesn't work there, or because the Supreme Court is so overwhelmed with these kinds of challenges that they deny certiorari to the applications, the pleadings with the court. I mean, that's a problem here. At some point in time, we have to have a return to normalcy, and one of this is, by the way, having to get judges to do their jobs. Isn't that right, Joe?
Well, the judges are not doing their jobs, and in fact, they are thwarting the system. There is massive resistance, as there was to civil rights law in the 1960s. By the Orville Faubuses of this country in the South. The massive resistance now is not from the right wing. It is from the left wing. It is from judges who think they are God, judges who think they can resist because they know that it takes a long time for things to work their way through the system. They know they can gum up the system. This is where the Chief Justice has to insert himself. For example, when those judges gave those interviews anonymously to the New York Times and NBC, the Chief Justice should have immediately issued a statement condemning the activity, condemning their anonymity, and here's what he should have said. When the United States goes into court, it doesn't know which one of the 600-plus federal judges gave those interviews, and therefore the government doesn't know whether or not they're going to get a fair shot. So I, Chief Justice Roberts, am ordering every judge who gave those interviews to communicate immediately with me and to let me know when those interviews were given. He hasn't done that, and so what he's done by not doing that is encouraged it further.
Hey, Joe, can you stick around for a few minutes?
Sure.
Yeah, and actually, before we do go to traffic, we never did. Julie, did we ever find out who leaked the Supreme Court draft decision?
No.
Okay, I think that sums it all up, doesn't it, Joe? We still don't know who leaked that draft.
You know what? That's why God made grand juries. We call it the Dobbs mob.
I love it. Listen, we're going to continue our discussion with Joe diGenova in just a few minutes. We're going to talk about the Epstein files and what's going on there. But first, at 7:15 a.m.
WMAL, making sense of the news. Live from the Home Paramount Pest Control Studios. Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
So we're continuing to talk with Joe diGenova, former U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia. And, in the last couple of weeks, Joe, this Epstein case has taken a strange turn. The president and Marjorie Taylor Greene having a feuding battle of words over the release of the files. The president yesterday saying, something, let's release all of it. What do you make of how that? And then we got Jamie Raskin releasing emails to Ghislaine Maxwell's, from Ghislaine Maxwell's team. What do you make of all this? This story continues to get stranger and stranger before it makes more sense.
Well, first of all, if the Democrats had anything involving President Trump, they would have used it in the 2024 presidential campaign. So What this is performance politics. This is utter nonsense. It's stupid, which is why I couldn't for the life of me think why the president was objecting to the releasing of all the files. How stupid. He should have said, fine, let him go. Fine, he finally got there, and that's what they should do. But here's the thing. Congress cannot, by passing a resolution demanding the release of all these information. Congress cannot override grand jury secrecy.
Right.
They can't. Those materials remain secret. If people are not charged with crimes, anything that's said about them remains secret. We have this. We have the Fifth Amendment, which has the federal grand jury proceedings in it for a reason, to protect innocent people. Now, if people want to see all these files, there's so much stuff available to read, thousands and thousands and thousands of pages. We have a pretty good idea what went on. There were a lot of famous people that knew Jeffrey Epstein. They may have suspected he was not a very nice guy. Nobody did anything about it. He got a sweetheart deal in Florida from a U.S. attorney down there, and then it's just come back and come back. People should just let it go. I could care less, by the way, about the Epstein case. I think it's a humongous waste of time, which is exactly why the president should have not wasted 1 minute objecting to the release of these files.
Listen, I am much more concerned about sitting members of Congress getting text messages from Jeffrey Epstein while she's conducting a congressional hearing as Jeffrey Epstein is trying to manipulate the process. These are the things that I'm concerned about because they have a fundamental relationship to the operation of the Republic. Julie, I know you want to jump in here, too.
Yeah, what do you make of Stacey Plaskett, who represented him in Congress? She's from the Virgin Islands, and she's sitting there in a hearing and getting texts from Epstein. What's so interesting is it seems like there's an awful lot of Democrats who were cozying up to him. And isn't that one of the reasons they don't want these things? They don't want these records released because I think it's going to shed a lot of light on the Democrats' cozy relationship with Epstein.
I have no doubt that that's true, but that's all the more reason just to let everything out and then let whatever's going to happen take its course. There is no reason whatsoever to keep anything secret other than those things required by law to be kept secret. This is a ridiculous waste of time of the American people and the Congress. Let all this stuff out, and whatever is there, journalists who will maybe look at it, maybe they won't. They all have prejudices. We know how useless the mainstream media is. All the more reason to let it all out so that independent journalists can start writing about it.
So let me ask you this, because one of the more disturbing parts of this story is Jamie Raskin, who I've heard he's an expert in constitutional law. I mean, I think he teaches at a law school. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm overstating this, but leaking privileged emails, this is insane. Your thoughts here?
Well, Mr. Raskin is the epitome of the performative politician. The Democrats, starting under Nancy Pelosi, tried to make him out to be this great constitutional scholar. In fact, he is a classless ignoramus. He mouths all sorts of constitutional nonsense for which there is no authority. He is a joke. Nobody listens to him. Even people in the mainstream media have begun to ignore him. He's very mouthy. He likes to talk. He enjoys himself. He is a useless appendage to the constitutional and congressional system. And you have him keep talking. The more he talks, the sillier he gets.
Yeah. And so what the other part of all of this, as we're getting into this silly season, we have MTG going on The View and mouthing all kinds of things about the destructive nature of politics and both sidesism and things. And then you've got Adam Schiff warning about the weaponization of politics against political opponents. I mean, this is, again, you talk about a lack of self-awareness or affirmative lack of self-awareness. Your thoughts here? I
have no idea what Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing. It's like a cry for help. I haven't quite figured it out. But at any rate, I like many things, I ignore her like I ignore Raskin. And as far as Adam Schiff is concerned, just remember, he was censured by the House of Representatives for lying to the public and his colleagues as a result of being on the Intelligence Committee in the House. Adam Schiff is one of the most disgraceful politicians ever to serve in Congress, and that's exactly why the people of California sent him back, because that's what California is. It is a cesspool of corrupt politics.
Yeah, they're all in a race to the bottom, whether it's California or Maryland or New York. Listen, Joe diGenova, thank you so very much for joining us today.
Anytime.
We'll catch Joe next Monday. Listen, we got so much more to get to right now at 7:23 here on WMAL.
Coming up, we'll give you an update on New York's new communist mayor, Mamdani, and he's taking on Starbucks. Keep it here, 7:30.
WMAL FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now. Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
Well, hey there, everybody. It is 7:37 here on News Talk 105.9 WMAL. We are making sense of the news. This is, of course, O'Connor and Company. I am not Larry O'Connor. I'm Andrew Langer. By the way, you can check me out at Andrew_Langer on X. I still call it Twitter, as do many of you. So go check me out there. Sitting alongside my good friend, my longtime professional collaborator, occasional professional collaborator, Julie Gunlock. Hello, Julie.
Good morning.
Good morning, Julie. Julie was shocked. Perfect. Shocked that I haven't had my coffee this morning.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I know. I've got my Mio Energy. It's the same thing. Not quite.
Not quite.
Not quite. Yes, I get my caffeine, but I don't get the warm feeling. So, listen, I love this because, again, you're a barista, you're getting paid. And I go back and forth, by the way, about Starbucks. As I was saying to Julie, I've become a big fan of the Wawa and the Sheets. But, sometimes for a matter of convenience, being able to order that Starbucks coffee on the app and knowing what you're going to get. I had to do that yesterday, ordering some coffee for my wife. It was streamlined into exactly what she wanted. I knew I can get it. But apparently there are workers who are not unhappy. And, of course, Zoran Mamdani is feeding into all this. But let's go ahead. Let's do a flashback to Thursday. Here are the Starbucks workers striking in Washington State.
What do we want? Contract. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Contract. When do we want?
You know something? I'm sorry. As I'm sitting here, we can go ahead.
Low energy protesters.
Yes. They need their coffee. Right? What do we want? Coffee. When do we want it? Right now, immediately. This is just crazy. But I love this. He's mayor. I don't know who is in a race.
Apparently,
to be...
apparently the Starbucks people are complaining about things like irregular hours, right, and not enough pay, and it's just unbelievable that these people are baristas.
Yes,
I am not saying that they don't work hard. I am not saying it's not hard to be on your feet all the time. I'm not saying that it's not difficult when you don't have a regular schedule. But you're a barista,
right.
At a chain coffee shop. If you want more certainty and you want more money, then you have to get a different job.
Or work for a place where there's steady work throughout the day. I mean, the problem is, of course, it's moments, or it's early morning moments of sheer terror, punctuated by then hours of boredom. And so, you're going to go. Listen, there's a rush. We get it. There will be a rush at between 6 a.m. and say 9 a.m., maybe 9:30. Somebody goes out and gets the coffee order for the office, and then there's a massive lull, and you get the folks who are just going to sit in Starbucks all day, and then maybe after lunch, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, you get the afternoon rush coming in, but you don't need the same amount of people. But here's what I love. And again, in the same vein of Abigail Spanberger stepping into it and deciding that she wants to control the UVA presidential search process, even though she's not governor yet. Zoran Mamdani, he's mayor-elect, and he encouraged his more than 1 million followers this week on X. By the way, he's still on X. I didn't think that the left was allowed to be on X anymore. He told his 1 million followers to boycott Starbucks. Here we go. By the way, I guess I didn't know. Starbucks. Sorry, go ahead.
A business that has employed more unskilled young workers and given them an opportunity to build a resume so that they can move on to other things. Yes, that's a great idea. Boycott a business that employs your generation.
Let's make Starbucks coffee even more expensive than it already is.
Exactly.
I mean, something. I look at this and I'm like, and as I said, there are times when it's just more convenient, right? There's a Starbucks everywhere. You can generally get the same thing in each different place. But right, this is the same reason why we're seeing problems. This is why McDonald's and other fast food places are moving to kiosks and getting the human element out of the equation, right? Because otherwise it's going to cost prohibitively expensive. Starbucks workers across the country are on an unfair labor practices strike fighting for a fair contract. While workers are on strike, I won't be buying any Starbucks, and I'm asking you to join us. Together we can send a powerful message, no contract, no coffee. By the way, I will say this. If you're a New York City resident, you don't need to go to Starbucks. There are plenty of different places to get coffee. Every neighborhood bodega, right? I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's an iconic coffee cup, Julie. Have you ever seen this? The iconic New York City blue and white Greek deli coffee cup.
Yep,
you can get good coffee just about anywhere. And guess what? It's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. Oh, but by the way, if you do start boycotting, a lot of these baristas are going to lose their jobs.
Well, again, they are. And Starbucks, I'm glad, has pushed back. It says they've said in a statement, the facts show that people like working at Starbucks. Partner engagement is up. Turnover is nearly half the industry average, and we get more than 1 million job applications a year. They go on to say any agreement needs to reflect the reality that Starbucks offers the best job in retail, including more than $30 an hour on average.
Amazing to me.
In pay and benefits for hourly partners. The thing that also annoys me, though, is the idea that he's encouraging his followers to he's getting involved in this and to boycott Starbucks when, again, and I said this earlier, when they offer that exact demographic and opportunity. A lot of people don't stay a barista their entire life. It's like McDonald's always gets crapped on. When McDonald's, most people move into either management or they go on to another job or they go to college, and McDonald's offers these kids, unskilled young people, an opportunity to enter the workforce.
And let's remember,
it is insulting that he's getting involved in this like that.
Let's remember what these entry-level jobs are all about. These first jobs are all about giving someone an exposure to the way a workplace works, how you engage in a complex operation where you have a manager, you have a specific task, maybe even you get multitasks. That's what it is all about. These wages are in many ways supposed to be training wages. Listen, we got so much more to talk to about this because we got Mamdani a meeting with Wes Moore. We got all kinds of socialists running for office all around the country. More to come. It's 7:44 here on WMAL. Well, they've set the mold, haven't they? The New Yorkers with the Mamdani victory. It has emboldened communists everywhere, to go and seek office. They're going to try to replicate it, and sure enough, right, Julie? I mean, we're looking now at it's not just Los Angeles. Los Angeles is we've got the biggest story, but they're planning on running hundreds, if not thousands, of candidates around the country. And this is what not only have anti-communists warned against, but this is exactly what Nikita Khrushchev predicted when he spoke at the UN in the early 1960s, when he said, "We will be at your funeral," which was widely reported as "we will bury you." This is what he was talking about. He was talking about the infiltration of the United States political structure by socialists and communists. Yeah. And this is the end result 60 years later, is it not, Julie?
It is. And what's so funny is when you hear things like the challenges are not just challenging Republicans. They're challenging radical leftists. Like Karen Bass is going to be challenged by what they're calling LA's Mamdani, right? I mean, you got to love this. A community organizer and democratic socialist, okay? And, this woman is going to run against Karen Bass, who's already, not just wildly left of center, but also useless and corrupt and all sorts of things. So that's what's amazing to me. It's like the leftists that are already in office, they're not satisfied with. We got to go further left.
Of course.
Look what's gone on in Seattle.
Let's keep going. Let's keep it. Well, here, listen. I have a thought experiment for you, Julie. I want you to close your eyes.
Okay.
And I want you to listen to this is a person who is running for the governor of Idaho. Now we're not California, not
Idaho,
New York, not Maryland, not Pennsylvania. This is somebody running for the governor of Idaho. I want you to guess this person's name and gender. Let's go ahead and play cut number 8.
I'm Maxine Duran, and I'm running for governor of Idaho in 2026 as an independent socialist candidate. I'm running as an independent socialist. I'm also running as a proud member of Democratic Socialists of America. I'm a member of the Southern Idaho DSA chapter, but I've also been endorsed by the chapters in Boise and the Idaho Falls and Pocatello area. It's important to me to talk about what I am because I think it's important to take that name back for ourselves. People say socialist like it's just automatically a bad word, and the reality is it does have a meaning. Look at my platform.
Yes, it has a bad meaning. All right, we can end it there. Yes. Go ahead, Jeff. You can end it. So that is, as this person said, quote unquote, Maxine Durand. Sounds actually kind of like Tim Walz. I mean, I defy you to put Maxine next to Tim Walz and tell me that there's a difference in their voices. Running for governor of Idaho. Transgender person, man claiming to be a woman, is running and said, by the way, socialist, that word has a meaning. Yeah, it's a bad meaning at the end of the day. I mean, it really is amazing. But let's go back to this. Well, I guess the president is going to be meeting with Zoran Mamdani. He would like to meet with us. This is interesting. Let's go ahead and play cut number 7.
The mayor of New York, I will say, would like to meet with us, and we'll work something out. But he would like to come to Washington and meet, and we'll work something out. We want to see everything work out well for New York.
We want to see everything work out well for New York. Now, the question is, how soon does the Mamdani campaign deny that they want to sit down and talk to President Trump? I mean, at the end of the day – sorry, go ahead, Julie.
Well, no, I mean, Trump is sort of the ultimate New Yorker. So
yeah.
I suspend. Look, Mamdani, he likes the spotlight. I have no doubt that Mamdani will take him up on this offer. I don't think has Mamdani refused?
I don't know. I'm waiting for that denial.
He's loving this. Are you kidding? He's loving it.
I can see him turning around and denying this. Now, what he isn't denying is that he has been seeking advice from Wes Moore, the governor of Maryland, someone who is going to be challenging Gavin Newsom for the presidency in 2020, and Pete Buttigieg and whoever else is running on the Democratic side. Maryland Governor Wes Moore's criticism of President Donald Trump intensifies, concerns are mounting about potential repercussions for the state. Recently elected New York Mayor Zoran Mamdani, a Democratic socialist, reportedly sought Moore's advice on handling Trump. Moore, known for his vocal opposition to the president, has been aligning with like-minded figures, including Russell Ellis, also known as the Jolly Good Ginger, who declared himself Antifa at a Washington rally. I mean, again, this is, at the end of the day, Wes Moore needs Zoran Mamdani more than Zoran Mamdani needs Wes Moore. And we should all
because
take
Wes
pause.
Moore's not left enough. You're right. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, but it gets to what you're saying. It's this idea of Karen Bass is not far left enough.
Right.
Wes Moore is not far left enough. I think, do you remember, did you ever read the book Primary Colors? You remember that book by Anonymous? It was the one that was the fictionalized account of the 1992 campaign.
Yes.
I think we are now back to an environment in which all roads to the Democratic nomination for president are going to lead through New York. And we are in a very dangerous situation. Well, maybe not. I think we're in a dangerous situation politically generally if Zoran Mamdani is viewed as a kingmaker, because that will draw all of the Democratic nominees further and further left. But at the end of the day, right, I mean, I like the stark contrast. I'm disturbed by the election results, but I wouldn't mind seeing J.D. Vance or a Vance Rubio ticket against a Wes Moore Gavin Newsom ticket that is pulled further left. I could see that happening. Listen, more to come. It's 7:54 on WMAL.